So this is a video about something I observed in the electrical connections, and it confused me initially. But basically, I'm trying to replace those two switches, the one over there and the one over there. They're just regular switches, but I'm replacing them with smart switches. And so what happened is when I initially replaced this switch um, with the smart switch, and I turned on the breaker and everything, which is on. What I noticed is that the switch wouldn't work, and the connections all seemed fine. This is the hot connection. The way I was able to tell this is the hot connection on the switches because there were two wires coming to the same terminal, um, and usually one is coming in and one is going out to the rest of the house or the other connections, and there's usually just one for the load. So there was a separate connector for the load, and this load is, in this case, is this fan with this light. So that's for the load, and then ground is usually bare copper wire. So this is ground, and neutral is usually white. And I made the connections, but the switch didn't work. And I was curious because the earlier switch that I had was a regular toggle switch like this. The toggle switch doesn't use a neutral. The neutral is used to power the smart switch. So basically, I thought maybe there was something wrong with the neutral wire because I was not getting power to the switch itself. And I was going to test it using my multimeter over here, the neutral wire. But then it just occurred to me that it can't be that the neutral is not working. I mean, there's nothing that's really wrong with the wires. They look absolutely fine, and but it still was a mystery why this switch wasn't showing any power, and it wouldn't power the fan or the light. And I also tried pulling, these controls on the light and the fan, but the fan wouldn't turn on. And the way this switch is supposed to look, I just replaced one in the other room, is it's supposed to look like this when it's powered. So you should see, this tells me that it's working. And of course, I just replaced this particular smart switch and it worked. And if you operate it, obviously you will see the light behind the closet. It's working. So I wasn't sure why this one wasn't working. And then it just occurred to me, uh, when I started to do this, replace the switch, what I thought is I'm going to also disconnect and get this other switch ready. So I first got both switches ready to replace, and as part of getting them ready to replace, what I had done was, let me show you over here. I had disconnected one of these wires, one of the hot wires. I disconnected the wire that to this particular terminal, which had two wires coming to it, and that's how I usually identify a hot. But then what I realized is I may have disconnected the wire that moves this hot along to other places. So the hot continuity wire or whatever you call it. And so maybe this is the actual hot that comes in and this is the hot that goes out. And because I had disconnected this hot that goes out, maybe this hot that goes out actually goes to the other switch, the hot that comes in. And maybe that the switch is not getting a hot, that's why it's not powered. That's what I thought. And when I went back here, because if I look at this switch, this seems to work. Of course, this is a toggle switch that doesn't use the neutral, but it definitely means that the hot coming into the switch works, and maybe the hot that goes out does not, because I disconnected it, it's not working. But that's what I thought. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to see if I can just make a temporary connection on this hot and verify my theory, because the rest of the switch seems to be wired properly and it's not powered. So I'm gonna, I know this is not, probably not safe, you shouldn't do this, but I'm just gonna try connecting this hot simply for continuity. And there you go. I could see that the switch is now working. So I'm gonna face the switch over there. I'm gonna make this connection, and then if it's noticed the switch over there, there you go, there's light. So I'll make a separate video when I, so the right way to do this would be, because this is the hot coming in, the right way to do this would be to replace this switch first with the ongoing hot connection, and then this switch would start working. So that's what I noticed.